5 of your selected leaders may speak. I will give a point for each acceptable response and 0 points for each unacceptable response. I might ask each speaker an additional question or two before making my decision. I will keep a running score of points earned, and it is cumulative. So far you have earned 8 points. The topic for this session is what should be your immigration policy.
Well, I think our policy should be similar to what your species does galactically, except for the domestication and eating part. We should decide on a case-by-case level what can those seeking immigration will bring to the table. It should not be based on their desire for a better life. Everyone wants a better life, especially the citizens of our own country.
I can't argue with your points. We do selectively decide what planets and species we will collaborate with based on what they bring to the table. The domestication and eating is exactly what you do on this planet with what you would call lesser species. You domesticate some that you call pets. Others you call livestock, which you also eat. There's species in the universe that will see you as a lesser species, unless you prove your self-worth. This is why I am here.
Immigration is not always about seeking a better life. It sometimes is about saving one's life and the lives of their loved ones. We have thousands of immigrants coming to our state, who are fleeing tyrannical governments, for their very lives. Those coming here to seek political asylum should get special consideration.
I see nothing wrong with considering the acceptance of those being severely persecuted for immigration and sanctuary into this country. As I understand it, however, Mexico and Canada are not tyrannical governments, severely persecuting selective groups of the citizens.
Well, that's the point. These people travel from other countries through Mexico, for hundreds, if not thousands of miles of hardship, to get to our country and sanctuary. How can we turn them away? I won't turn them away, even if I have to cut down some services to our citizens. We all have to make sacrifices sometimes for the greater moral good.
That makes no sense to me. Sanctuary is the closest haven that will accept you. It seems your so-called sanctuary seekers pass through several countries, never asking for, or they reject sanctuary, set on getting to this country. That is just seeking a better life under a different outer shell.
You can look at the desperate drive of people to have a better life in a cold, detached manner. You aren't our species. You, in fact, are not even a biological life form. We, inferior humans, have something called compassion. If someone comes to our door in need, we help them, even when it is inconvenient. How people get to our country is not important. They are here and we need to help them.
You seem to spend very little time thinking about your responses and decisions. You are on a governing board that is responsible for the welfare of 350 million people. Your answer to the immigration policy question is, let everyone in who wants to get in, if they have had the perseverance to get to your borders and the desire to better their lives. If you were a religious leader, your statements might make some sense. But you are not.
We were not having any problems with immigration in my state. We were proud that our largest city was a sanctuary city. Then the governor of a border state started busing immigrants up to our largest city. This happened too fast and created an overload. His move was irresponsible and totally politically motivated. If we outlaw this busing process, the northern cities' immigration problems would be solved quickly.
According to the record of immigration for this country, securing the border and having a reasonable immigration policy has been a problem for decades. The problem seems to have magnified when a former president pledged to clamp down on illegal immigration. This is when your state and cities decided that no matter what laws were passed, immigrants had a sanctuary in your state or cities. You encourage illegal immigration to defy that former president. Your claims that the border state governors' moves were politically motivated is hypocritical. You and your counterparts, thinking that an open border would bury the border state controlled by your opposition, while not affecting your political group's more northern states. The governor of the said border state did nothing more than send to you the illegal immigrants to which you offered sanctuary. Your current crisis, however, is not caused by the immigrants shipped from the border state. It is a result of an open border policy pushed by your political party for years now. Your party's border policy seems aimed at being a political weapon against your opposition and nothing else.
The ruling Liberal Party has now requested we support a bill to end the open border situation that is destroying the country. The opposition party wants a tough bill, but they don't want the ruling party to get credit for it and use it as an election point of achievement, which they can do since they control the major media outlets. The question, for me, is how can I best help the citizens of this country? Do I support the new bill and let the Liberal Party escape their karma, or do I let the country crash and burn until after the election? It's a tough decision, but if I look at the intermediate and long term, I have to say, I believe the Liberal Party will always want open borders, thinking they will get a new loyal voters base, as traditional supporters become disenfranchised. The irony is, the new immigrant voting bloc is likely to be more conservative than liberal. I will not support the proposed immigration bill, and hope the country survives until after the election.
Not a good session. It seems the biggest problem is your leaders care more about themselves than they do about the citizens they represent. You have a long ways to go. You must score a minimum of 1,000 points to be put above the domestication, food stock category.